Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. Live Q&A this morning. It is a wonderful Saturday morning here in Ohio. I'm about to go hit up, I don't know, an 8-9 mile hike, do something ridiculous, get some sun, get some fresh air. And before I do that though, I'm going to do a Q&A and drink a lot of coffee. So, how's it going this morning, everybody? If you guys have a question and I miss these, thanks, I appreciate it. If you guys have a question and I miss it, just post it up again. All right, Sergio's off to a fast start with fixing rounded shoulders, like fixing shoulders that round forward. I don't really know. I'm not an expert at that. The only thing, do something ridiculous like a 9 a.m. live Q&A. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, Harambe, because that's the only time I can do it. Or I can do a 5 a.m. Q&A like every damn day fitness. Mention me, please. Hey, Luke, I mentioned you. All right, rounded shoulders. I'm not an expert on that. The only thing I can say is like, I would just try to build a big, beefy upper body and build a lot of chesticles and build a lot of shoulder mass and build a lot of trap mass and build a lot of back mass. And it's probably going to minimize that because I'm assuming you're, lighter weight. So that's the best advice I have, but I'm no expert on it. Let me get some coffee because I have no caffeine molecules in my system this morning. I was up late last night. I played a live show. I sang. Yeah, I do music. I played a live show last night, and that's one of the things I do when I'm not doing this crazy lifting thing. So, how to even out my biceps. My right arm is an inch bigger. You know what? My right arm's been a half inch bigger for 30 years. You really can't do it. I mean, not that I can see. A lot of guys ask this question, can I make one side bigger? You know, we're just kind of born that way. We use one side more than the other, and one side tends to develop more, or we're wired that way. But I have been lifting for 31 years, and my right side, my right quad, and my right arm are still a half an inch bigger than my left. So don't worry about it. Just make everything else bigger. I've been suffering with shoulder impingement. Can't really train shoulders and chest without pain. Would you recommend rehab or exercise? The first thing you need to do if you got some kind of a shoulder impingement is see a doctor if you got pain from it, because an impingement can lead to a lot of long-term issues. I would definitely get a support device and go moderate, do volume work, see if you can go moderate weight. You don't want to be using heavy weight. You probably want to be using something like a slingshot bench press, or a slingshot or bench press assistance device, which I talked about just a couple videos ago. And you probably want to see if a moderate weight for volume causes you any issues. How about being consistent with my conventional deadlift form? If you want to be consistent with any form, that's really going to come down to practice. And the best way to practice is to practice with light weight. So you probably need to have a week every 2 to 3 weeks where you are doing rep work with a moderate weight, maybe 50% of your 1 rep max, and you just go into the gym and you just work on form. That would be my best advice. If you want to improve on anything in life, you just simply have to practice and watch a lot of videos. Thoughts about being a strongman competitor? Good question. I have a lot of friends who are strongman competitors. They have a blast, and there's a lot of local competitions you can go to and just have fun. Don't pressure yourself if you're getting into powerlifting or physique competitions or strongman to be like, don't pressure yourself to think about how big they are. Just go enter a competition, do some events, and have fun. You're going to make a lot of friends. You're going to have a blast. And then you can just try to improve gradually and see if it is a sport for you or if it's a sport you're interested in. Late to the live. How's it going? It's going good, Skull Kid. Appreciate your support. Do you believe I can skip deadlift and do rack pulls below and above the knee. Anybody can skip anything, really. I mean, if you're I'm a power lifter and I rarely floor pull simply because it places a lot of strain on my lower back. I like to pull from 3, 5, and 7 inches off the ground. Sometimes if my lower back's really weak, I'll do some stuff above the knee, but that's very rare. That's like a heavy deload. So yeah, you don't have to pull from the floor specifically, but I would rotate between 3, 5, and 7 inches or something like that. How many calories should be eating day by day for a man? That's an impossible question. I don't believe in calorie counting. Let's get this out there, and I'm going to explain why. I don't really believe in calorie counting because I believe that most people that get obese have issues that they're eating the wrong foods. So if you are overweight, you probably want to know what ballpark of calories you're getting. But first and foremost, you need to, just start cleaning up your diet. If you are a lifter, and this is going to go against a lot of what people say, but if you're just a normal size lifter and you're looking to pack on mass, you just need to eat a lot of clean food and eat when you're hungry and listen to your body. And if you're not gaining weight or not gaining muscle, then you probably need to start focusing on calorie counting. But most guys really don't need to calorie count. They need to kind of structure a weekly meal plan where their calories are ballparked and just simply eat when they're hungry and get in plenty of protein. If you do that, you're going to gain size. And I mean, if you're not gaining size, then you just need to add a little bit more calories, and then you need to calorie count. But how many calories do you need? That's impossible for me to say because that's gonna be very specific. If you're just trying to maintain, I would start somewhere around 3,000. What's your best advice for someone who's trying to gain strength in the big 3 lifts? Be patient. Number one, if you're trying to gain strength in the big 3 lifts, number one, be patient. Number one, be smart. I had 2 number ones there. No, you can't be patient, number one, and number one, be smart, because that's not smart. So be patient, be smart. And the big one is don't buy into the belief, and I've seen this for the last 10 years. I ran the Muscle and Brawn Forum and ran the forum at Muscle and Strength. People think programs are the magic. And they're jumping from program. I've seen so many guys over the years, so many good friends. They just jump from program to program to program to program to program. They're like, I'm going to try this program to get stronger. I'm going to try that program to get stronger. I'm going to try this program to get stronger. Fuck your program. Fuck your workout. Fuck your program. I don't even use a program. And I'm stronger than all of them. So am I advising not to use a program? No, I kind of sometimes use a program. But my advice to you is just be patient and have fun, and don't believe that a specific program is going to be the magic. Try some things, learn some things, adapt your training, but that's my best advice. And don't undereat. Muscles for increasing shirt size. All of them. Everything. All of them. You got to have a big back first and foremost, and you got to have big arms, big tricepticons to fill out that shirt, and you just got to do a lot of heavy compounds in the upper body and get that beef going. That's all I can say. All right, guys, I'm going to run for half an hour, so I got 21 minutes left. If I miss your questions, please post them up again. I'm working on my black coffee this morning. I played a show last night. What do you think about a clean bulk, and how would you go about it? How would your macros look? I don't count macros. I don't believe in counting macros. Here's what I do. I tell guys to get in at least 180 grams of protein a day, and then you have, excuse me, you'll have the guys over here who'll say, but you only need 150 grams to build muscle. Yeah, that might be true, but we want to eat a balanced diet, okay? The 150 grams to build muscle isn't the only issue on the planet when it comes to structuring an eating plan. We don't want to just eat 150 grams of protein and then eat like 600 grams of carbs. We like meat and we like balance, so we're going to eat a little bit more meat. So I tell guys, to get in, here's macros, to get in at least 180 grams of protein, to get in at least 25% of your calories from fats, and everything else just fall into place. You don't have to worry about balancing fats and carbs and macros. Way overthinking, not needed for 99.99% of us. So I don't worry about macros. Just get in your protein, make sure you're getting in enough fat, and all that kind of stuff will work out just fine. What are your thoughts on upright rows? Where'd the question goes? What are your thoughts on upright rows? I've tried upright rows. I like doing power upright rows. I don't like just doing the generic, slow, movie, mind muscle upright rows. And you asked my opinion, I'm going to give you my opinion on upright rows. And I'm not telling you it's the gospel, but me personally, I don't like doing those slow ones. I like to do power upright rows, like almost like a clean. I like doing them. If I want to do something more pump focused or finisher focused, I'll grab the little easy bar attachment and put it on a low cable, and I'll bring it up here. I'll bring it up here and I'll roll it up here. And you can really feel it's a good shoulder finisher, and you can really feel it in the traps as well. All right, guys, I got about 20 minutes left. Hit me up with your questions. I'm going to go hike about 8, 9 miles today, get my head out of my butt with some black coffee. If I missed your question, please post it again. Are you going to collaborate with Alan Roberts again? Me and Alan talk every damn day. We talk about things like how to grow YouTube. We talk about things on how to grow our own businesses. We don't really need to collab. I mean, me and Alan, spend a lot of time together at the Real Weights for Real Heroes things. But if he's ever in town, we might. But at this point, we're just kind of doing our own thing and trying to grow our own base and trying to get more financially independent. Best way to send a form check setup video. You can go to my website, Muscle and Brawn, BRAWN.com, muscleandbrawn.com, and check out the shop section. And, if you want a form check, you can. The best way to send me a form check video is to upload it to YouTube, set it to unlisted, and then just send me the link. That's the best way. So, should one use a weightlifting belt? Should one use a lifting belt? You're talking to a guy that's never used a lifting belt in 31 years. I dabbled with it. I got a belt. I got a belt in my office when I was a power lifter. I recommend training as long as you can without one and learning good form. Once your squats get over like 315, it might be a good time to play with a belt, but I don't want you to spend a lot of money on a belt. You want to kind of get a 10 millimeter belt, and you want to work on pressing out your stomach on it to get that tightness. It's a good thing to help you with tightness during the squat and deadlift. Don't spend a fortune when you get to like a 315 squat or a 365 deadlift. Get kind of a cheaper 10 millimeter. See if you like it. And it's a good investment, and it isn't going to hurt to have one in the gym bag. But you just don't want to go out and spend $150 on a custom belt until you're ready, or until you're sure you want one for a long haul. But are they needed? Not really. I've trained without one. Nothing's really needed. All right, guys. Let's see. Thoughts on joint supplements for overall health. Excuse me. I'm still overcoming a cold. Joint supplements. I do a lot of editing. I mean, my job is an editor. So I edit a ton of articles on all different types of topics. A lot of supplement ingredient topics. I have to verify the research. I'm looking at stuff on examine.com. There's a lot of good research on a lot of joint health supplements. The first thing you want to do if you're looking at joint health is take in a lot of water, take in enough water, get your fish oil in, and then you want to go on examine.com and look at what supplement ingredients are actually shown to be beneficial for joint health. Now, a lot of the products that MTS Nutrition makes, which is our house brand at Tiger Fitness, uses only the best ingredients. So we got a real good joint health supplement. The good thing about joint health supplements is they're not expensive. And if you're concerned about one, It's just like putting a condom on during sex. You just take one to be safe. And will you feel any difference? Well, with a condom you will, but with a joint health supplement, no. Thoughts on pre-workout supplements? I love pre-workout supplements. I love pre-workout supplements. And I know there are guys out there who, pre-workout supplements are my favorite. And here's why. There are guys out there in the universe who will say they're not needed. You know what? They aren't needed. They aren't needed. But if you're like me and don't always get optimal sleep, or you have kids or job stresses, or you just can't eat right all the time and your energy's just not always there, there are pre-workouts out there that you will get done with your workout and you will just feel like you could keep going and you went in your workout dead. Like Ruckus is a good example. Total War is a good example. Kai Green's pre-workout is a good example. There are 3 or 4 pre-workouts that I use in my staple that when I take them, when I'm done with my workout, I feel like I could keep going. And that's what I want out of a pre-workout. I'm not looking for magical muscle building stuff out of a pre-workout, even though they have creatine and beta-alanine, which help performance and can enhance your performance in the gym. I'm not looking for a magic pre-workout that builds muscle. And anybody that tells you a pre-workout is useless because it doesn't build muscle is kind of missing the point. Because a lot of those guys, and I'm speaking of one in particular, Jason Blaha, he doesn't have kids, he doesn't own a home, he's never had any fucking responsibilities other than pedaling that little bike of his and playing video games. So of course dudes like that don't want a pre-workout. All they do is sleep and eat. Of course they don't need a pre-workout. We're humans that have kids, right? We have stress, we have a real job, we have jobs and stuff. Our energy levels suck, so yeah, pre-workout can be beneficial. And hey, you tried Ruckus. What did you think? That's the first pre-workout you ever took. And I am not telling her what to say. Well, how did you feel?
Good, awesome, for like ages after.
Yeah, for ages after, right? You could keep going. This is the beautiful, lovely Fiona, everybody.
Hi.
All right, guys, I got about 15 minutes left. Shoot me your questions. Yeah, go ahead. If I miss your questions, she's making coffee. If I miss your questions, just post them up again. Grip strength exercises. Fiona is Aussie. Grip strength exercises. You want to do pinch work, so you can pinch plates. You can pinch one, you can pinch multiples. You want to do pinch work. You also want to do maybe crush work, which is like a gripper or some kind of a ball, resistance ball. So you want to do pinch work, you want to do crush work, and you want to do just grip, static hold work, okay? Static hold, we got a Keurig going back there. So like grabbing a barbell and holding it with 225 pounds and holding it for 3 sets of 1 minute, and then adding a little bit of weight next time in the gym, like 230 pounds, and doing it for 3 sets for a minute. So you want to do pinch work, you want to do crush work, and you want to do general just time under tension grip work like that. So I hope that helps. I have some videos on this channel about just about every topic under the sun, but it talks about the 3 type of grip work, and you can search this channel for grip and you can find more information. Excuse me. All right, guys, let it rip. I got 12 minutes left, and we're here on a sleepy Saturday. You're welcome. Are you familiar with Nether Rose? Is that the Nether guy from the other YouTube channel? I think he's like Super Nether Man. I think I've seen him, but I haven't really tried him. What do you prefer, dead stop deads or touch and go deads? That's a good question. Don't ever do touch and go deadlifts. Don't ever do touch and go deadlifts. The deadlift, it is essential, and this is a part of the deadlift that most guys screw up. When you sink your hips, you want to pull yourself down onto your heels. And you want, as you sink those hips and push yourself down on your heels, you want your glutes to be tight. You want your hamstrings to be tight. You want your core to be tight. That is some of the most powerful muscles in the human body. And if guys are just doing touch and go deadlifts, they're not getting tight before each pull. Now, will that dramatically decrease their strength before each rep? No. But when these big muscles in the chain are loose, or not primed, or you're not doing the same setup before each rep, you're going to end up getting, if you're not pulling yourself down on your heels before each rep, you're going to start getting slightly forward. You might not see it, you might not feel it. It might be only a half inch or a quarter inch, but you're going to place more strain on your lower back over time, and that's a risk that you shouldn't do. So touch and go deadlifts, I think, are one of the most ridiculous things you can do in the gym. Would never advocate it. How heavy would you recommend going on the Bulldozer laterals? I don't really go heavy to the point where I get sloppy. I can do 50 to 55 pounds because you can get a lot of momentum on them. But if you're like kind of, putting 80 pounds on there and just kind of doing the full body thing and trying to jack them up there with your entire body, it's too heavy. So go as heavy as you can to keep reasonably explosive form. And when you're doing, are you talking about regular flies? When I'm doing regular flies, I always make sure that my elbows are down, and when I'm pulling it down, I'm not pulling it out here, I'm pulling them back down here. So I'm kind of going back and down a little bit when I fly. So as long as you can do that. Thoughts on cheat rows? Most guys on the internet do cheat rows when it comes to like barbell rows. They'll stand up and they have like this, like they're humping a bar or something with like 400 pounds, and they got like a 2-inch range of motion. I'm not a big fan of that. Plus it places a lot of strain on the lower back. I think you're better off doing pendley rows from a dead stop and getting yourself tight before each rep and then explosively blasting it up. That's just my foods to bulk. Foods to bulk. Bulking foods, you want to eat a lot of protein. You want to eat a lot of quality fats. Obviously, you want to eat oatmeal and rice and quinoa and get your quality carbs in. You want to get your micronutrient bases in first. So proteins, good quality carbs. You want to eat plenty of fruits and vegetables each week. But fats are the calorie wizards. Putting cheese all up on your burger. Putting cheese all up on your taters. A little bit of sour cream will add some stuff. If you're having a whey protein shake, put in an ounce of heavy cream. Heavy cream is one of the best fat sources you can eat. The nutrients in heavy cream is ridiculous. You can put an ounce of heavy cream in a protein shake and add calories. What else can you do calorie-wise? Obviously, a little bit of butter on your vegetables. They're just little things where you can add little quality fats in to get your calorie count up. But if you're really having a hard time eating enough, you probably have to eat about 20 or 30% dirty foods.
Just that cheese.
Well, yeah, squeeze cheese or something. I don't know. All right, guys, I got about 10 minutes left. I'm going to go off and hike about 8-9 miles today with my beautiful, lovely Australian woman. So if you have any more questions, just hit me up. And if I missed your questions, please repost them. Or post them below in the comments section or submit them. Examples of squatting 2 times in a week and deadlifting once. Fatigue issues. Most guys that do frequent squatting try to do too much volume. Frequent squatting or frequent use of any exercise comes down to the balance of volume, intensity, and frequency. So if you're going to increase the frequency, you need to decrease the volume or intensity. Now, when I squatted frequently 2 to 3 times a week, heavy, for about 4 years, and I only did a few reps a day. So if you're having fatigue issues on squatting frequently, you need to pull back your volume. That can be a mind fuck for some guys, but you really need to pull back your volume. You need to listen to your body on every given day and understand that's more important than a specific program. So you need to listen to your body, because frequent squatting, if you're picking up fatigue, when you're squatting, you're increasing your risk of injury because of that fatigue. Now, when you're doing deadlifts sandwiched between frequent squatting during a week, you don't want to lift above 90%. If you're feeling fatigued going into deadlifts, you don't want to pull from the floor. You want to pull from 3 to 5 inches. So I hope that helps. Trap exercises for novices besides deadlifts. This is one of my specialties. Let me get a drink of coffee here. The traps are an incredibly strong muscle group, but it's hard to get good time under tension with just shrugs. So there are some things I like to do. You want to use straps on your shrugs. You can do things like 1, 2, 3 reps and then hold for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3 reps and then hold for 3 seconds. So you can mix up shrugs and static holds. You can do a set of 10 power shrugs and then a extended static hold at the end. You can do things like farmer's walk with power shrugs as you're walking, or stop every 10 feet and do a set of power shrugs and then do a hold at the end. There's so many quality variations to add time under tension for shrugs, but I like shrugs combined with the addition of static holds and just to add the time under tension. You want to go heavy on trap work because the traps are a strong muscle group. Please don't get in all that crazy stuff. All right. I just ordered SARM. What do you think about them? Dude, SARMs are expensive and there's some good research behind some of them. What do I think about it? They're gray area. I don't know if they provide a lasting, but if they provide a benefit, of a couple pounds of muscle during a cycle, great. But there's just not enough information out there for me to get excited about them. So I'm not telling you not to try them, but did your incline bench bring up your OHP? No, but my OHP brought up my bench press. Let me repeat that. The question was, did your incline bring up your OHP? No, but my OHP brought up my bench press. You're going to say, how do you get strong on OHP? Tricep strength and a lot of volume. A lot of guys don't do enough volume on their OHP work. They kind of approach it, doing 5 rep sets, a couple 5 rep sets once a week. I would rather see you doing 10 rep sets on OHP and doing 2 exercises, a dumbbell and a barbell exercise each week. The shoulders aren't as fragile as most guys paint them out to be. You just got to be careful with your form. So you can try inclines to increase your OHP. I'm not saying they won't, but I think you're better off focusing on tricep strength, and you're better off focusing on more volume of press work each week. All right, guys, I got about 5 minutes left. I can keep going, but this beautiful woman over here wants to go hiking. I
just keep staring at it.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, send me your questions. I got a little bit of time left. You want to come over here and answer a question?
I won't know the answer to the question.
Just make up one. We won't tell anybody. All right, guys. Can you please advise your viewers to step away from TB12 performance? What? Tom Brady is selling his nuts. Is Tom Brady still doing that pH thing? Last time I checked, Tom Brady was doing a pH thing, thinking that foods can impact blood pH. Foods can't impact blood pH. If they did, we would die. There's so much nonsense. I wrote an article on this at tigerfitness.com. Yo, dude, huge fan. Thanks for passing through. Tell her she is very pretty so you can wait 10 minutes more. They just want to see you for 10 more minutes. All right, guys, I got time for a couple more questions. Fire them up. Where are we going to go hiking today?
Somewhere nice.
Yeah, it looks like a beautiful day.
Sweaty and hot.
Yeah. That's me. I'm sweaty, you're hot. Thanks. All right, guys, I got time for a couple more questions. So you have any questions? Fire them up now. If not. Okay, but my mass isn't where it's meant to be. So yeah, best muscle mass program. There is no best muscle mass program. If your mass isn't where it's got to be, it's going to come down to patience, and it's going to come down to making sets count and exercise selection. If you really want some help with your program, check out my book, Massive Iron, which is available at muscleandbrawn.com or listed in the description box of all my videos. Because if you want my best advice on building muscle, I put it in my book. That's all I can say.
And then you get big things here and big arms.
Yeah.
And then you can titty dance.
Yeah, you can titty dance. How much protein per day? At least 180 grams. And I covered this earlier in the Q&A. But I know the science says 150. The life question, Andre, I'll be right with you. A lot of the science says at least 150 grams. I like to eat at least 180 grams. A, because I like meat. B, because I like a balanced diet. And C, because I don't like to seek minimums when it comes to protein intake. Any experience with intermittent fasting? Yes, I did intermittent fasting for 5 years. I just made a video last week on intermittent fasting, so check it out. It's very thorough. Do you have a diet book? Yes, I do have a diet book. That's called Flex Calorie Dieting. It can use beef for bulking or cutting. Let's see. Boy, we're getting a lot of questions here. What do you do when you feel defeated? What do you do when you feel defeated? What do you do when you're feeling down? What do you do when you're feeling depressed? What do you do when you're feeling lonely? What do you do when you're feeling like crap? One of the best things to do in life when you're feeling defeated is go do something. Practice, 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 practice the thing that defeats you. Like I sang last night. And I've been trying to work on my singing. And there's times I feel defeated, like I suck. But what do? I keep practicing.
I do every night, and I tell you how awesome you are.
Because you learn. The process teaches you. The process teaches you. So when you're defeated, the best thing you can do is, if you want to hear my singing, go over to Instagram, Steve Shaw Music. The best thing you can do when you feel defeated is get back in there and keep practicing. Suck it up and keep doing what you're doing.
Pull your finger at your ass and suck it up.
Deadlifting twice a week over 50. I wouldn't do deadlifts twice a week. I would do a combination of high rack pulls and power shrugs one day, and then deadlifts from 3 to 5 inch blocks the second day. But don't do 2 days of floor pulls. What's the name of the diet book? It is Flex Calorie Dieting. Flex Calorie Dieting. It is available. You can find the link below in most of my videos. You can also find it at muscleandbrawn.com, BRAWN. And it's not a magical diet book, but it teaches you how to leave free calories each week to eat whatever you want. Thank you. I appreciate that. Is a 130 kilogram squat for a 17-year-old good? Yes, that's awesome. Great job. That's where you should be after a year. You are right on track. What is the biggest difference between training today and 20 years ago? The biggest difference is 20 years ago, yes, it's just available as an ebook. You need me an Australian woman. She got all kinds of friends. I'm telling you right now. Give me $10, we'll give you some emails. Big difference between training now and 20 years ago. I didn't know when to back off the volume. Like if I just beat up my body, I would push every set to the limit, and I would keep doing that over and over and over again each week. Sometimes you just need to learn to back off. All right, one more question, I'm out of here. Do you warm up your rotator cuffs? Thanks, I appreciate it. Do I warm up my rotator cuffs? No, because here's the thing. Like when I'm doing warm-up sets, for me, on the big compound movements, I do so many warm-up sets that it just takes forever to get to the first working set. So by then my rotator cuffs are warmed up. I don't do a lot of foam rolling. I don't do a lot of rotator cuff work, stretching. That doesn't mean you guys shouldn't. I just don't do it. I'm just too busy. So guys, that's it for the Q&A. I gotta head out and have some fun. We're gonna go hiking. But if you guys have any questions or comments, again, if I missed your question, you can check out the link that I'm going to post below, and you can submit your questions. A Beck's question, I turn in videos like this. Next Q&A, good question. I got to start doing these on a regular basis. If I get really, if I have time tomorrow, I might fire one up. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Appreciate your support.